Hey everybody, Ryan here at eTrailer. Today on our 2019 Buick Envision, we're going to be showing you how to install the Blue Ox breakaway switch for the Patriot type supplemental braking systems. But before we do that, why don't we check it out and make sure that this is going to work for you. This is a pretty simple kit. It's going to come with your breakaway switch, this tether, and the wire that's going to plug into your braking system. It is going to work with the Blue Ox Patriot, Patriot 2, as well as the Patriot 3 type braking systems. And really, I can think of a few different scenarios on situations that you would use this in. Probably the most popular one would be to add a second vehicle. So let's say you have one vehicle that you like to flat tow, and you end up picking up another one, and you want to flat tow that as well. Well, as you know, one of the really cool things about the Patriot is the fact that it's pretty portable, and you can kind of bounce them around from car to car. So if you already have that braking system and get a second car, you can add this kit and be able to have that breakaway switch feature on the braking system as well. Another scenario that I could see this potentially being used in is maybe you damaged your original one in some way, some shape or form. This would work as a replacement just to get that up and going again. And you know, one more that I can kind of think of is maybe you end up picking up a used Patriot. So maybe you bought it from a friend or something like that, and they didn't have this piece with it. You know, and you want the whole package, you want the complete kit. So you could always grab this to make that used system complete again. For those of you that don't know, what a breakaway switch is designed to do is more or less act as a safety feature. And so what will happen is this tether will get connected to your breakaway switch. The other end of the tether is going to get connected to the hitch on your motorhome. And in the event of an unlikely disconnect, what would happen is this pin would get pulled. And what that's going to do is activate your braking system. And so with the brakes being applied in your Buick, that's going to help get things back under control. But other than that, a really simple component that's going to get the job done, and you're going to be able to plug it into your Patriot type braking system. As far as the installation goes, really nothing to it. You're going to mount up the breakaway switch and route your wire inside of the cab. That way you are able to plug it in. With that said, do not own this Buick. This is going to carry over to a lot of other different types of vehicles as well, just at least the general idea of it. So if you happen to have another type of vehicle, you can at least use this as a reference. But with that said, why don't we go ahead and hook it up together now. To begin our installation, first thing we need to do is mount up our breakaway switch, which is this piece right here. Now, most of the time, you know, you're going to be doing this while the car's apart and you're installing all your other components. But this is going to hold, you know, this information is going to hold true regardless on where you're at with your flat tow install. You know, everyone's situation is a little different. Maybe you change braking systems and so you need this now, or you know, maybe you tried flat towing without one, or maybe something was out of stock, whatever the case may be. So just keep that in mind. But with that said, our breakaway switch here just got mounted up to our base plate, and our base plate actually had a tab coming off of it already right out of the box. So we just took a nut and a bolt and secured our breakaway switch to it. From there, we're going to have this plug coming off our breakaway switch and the wiring that comes with this kit. The other end is going to be like this. And so I dropped this down from our engine compartment down through here, and I'll show you that in a moment once we get this hooked up. But these here are just going to plug into each other. What I like to do is just take some dielectric grease, kind of put a thin coating on the terminals there. That way it'll just help keep it protected against corrosion and things of that nature. But these are simply just going to plug right into each other like that. So that wire here in the engine compartment, this is where it comes up, and I just ran it along through here and just kind of zip tied it along the way to keep it secure. That's right there. And then if you lift up on this cowling here, there's going to be a couple plastic push pin fasteners along the edge that you can pry out and lift this up. that's going to drop down into this opening, and I actually had to create a small hole in the firewall. That way we could get our wire through. So with it being a little tricky to see under the hood, let's take a closer look at it under the dash. So over here on the driver's side and on the floorboard underneath the dash, we can see that hole that I drilled and where our wire comes through. I did use a bushing or a grommet. That way there's not bare metal rubbing against our wire. And I suggest doing that as well. That way we don't run into any issues later down the road. It is a good idea to test our breakaway switch. That way we make sure it's working properly. So what I've done is set up our Patriot here, set up the braking system and got it ready, plugged our breakaway switch in, and the machine here recognizes that it says breakaway on. And what we're going to do is just pull our breakaway pin up front and make sure that this braking system does indeed activate. And that'll finish up our look at and our installation of the Blue Ox breakaway switch for Patriot braking systems on our 2019 Buick Envision.